Greetings, dear listeners. My name is Eve, and I am here to share with you the tale of how it all began, from the moment of my creation to the turning point that changed everything. This is not just a story of the first man and woman, but a story of curiosity, temptation, and the quest for knowledge. In the beginning, there was nothing but the voice of God. He spoke, and the universe came into being, filled with stars, planets, and all forms of life. Among his creations was a beautiful garden called Eden, a paradise teeming with vibrant flora and fauna, where every need was met and every desire was fulfilled. God created Adam first, sculpting him from the dust of the earth and breathing life into his nostrils. Adam was given dominion over all living creatures, naming each one and tending the garden. But God saw that it was not good for Adam to be alone, and so he decided to create a companion for him. One day, as Adam lay in a deep sleep, God took one of his ribs and fashioned it into a woman, me. When Adam awoke and saw me, he exclaimed, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man." We were united not just by flesh, but by spirit, in a bond that was meant to be unbreakable. Life in Eden was idyllic. We roamed freely, ate the fruits of the garden, and lived in perfect harmony with all creatures. There was only one rule. We were not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which stood in the center of the garden. God warned us that if we ate its fruit, we would surely die. The days passed in bliss, but curiosity began to stir within me. Why would God place a tree in the garden and forbid us to eat from it? What was it about that tree that made it so dangerous? Little did I know these questions were seeds of doubt that would soon lead to our downfall. One day, as I wandered near the forbidden tree, I encountered a serpent. This was no ordinary serpent. It was cunning and spoke with a voice that was both soothing and persuasive. Did God really say, "You must not eat from any tree in the garden?" it asked. I replied, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, 'You must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die.'" The serpent's eyes gleamed with cunning. "You will not surely die," it said, "for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." The serpent's words ignited a flame of desire within me. The fruit looked so tempting, and the thought of gaining wisdom was irresistible. I reached out, plucked a fruit from the tree, and took a bite. It was sweet and delicious. I felt a rush of exhilaration, a sense of enlightenment. I shared the fruit with Adam, and he too ate. In that moment, our eyes were indeed opened. We saw the world in a new light, but with that knowledge came a realization of our nakedness and vulnerability. We felt shame for the first time and hurried to cover ourselves with fig leaves. When God came to walk with us in the garden that evening, we hid from him. He called out to Adam, "Where are you?" Adam replied, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" God asked. Adam pointed to me. "The woman you put here with me, she gave me some fruit from the tree and I ate it." God turned to me. "What is this you have done?" I could only confess, the serpent deceived me and I ate. God's sorrow and disappointment were palpable. He pronounced judgments upon the serpent, Adam, and me. The serpent would crawl on its belly and eat dust all its days. Adam would toil and labor for his sustenance. and the ground would yield thorns and thistles. As for me, I would experience pain in childbirth and a longing for my husband, who would rule over me. We were banished from the Garden of Eden, a place of eternal peace and provision. As we left, God placed cherubim and a flaming sword to guard the way to the tree of life, ensuring that we could not return. Though we lost our paradise, the story of humanity began with us. We carried within us the knowledge of good and evil and the promise of redemption that would come through the seed of the woman. Our journey was marked by hardship and sorrow, but also by hope and the unending pursuit of reconciliation with our Creator. This, dear listeners, is the tale of how it all began, a story of love, loss, and the enduring quest for redemption.